Hold on. One sec. Guys, might be kind of weird because, like, YouTube's been weird and my energy's been weird and it's been messing up technology all these past 3 days. So if it gets weird or it messes up, it's the energy. What's up, guys? Hi, Bella. How are you doing? Getting my selfie stick. Thank you. I'm grateful for you guys. Thanks for being grateful for me. Whoa, hold on. Thanks for bearing with me while I'm just like trying to set this up. I'm good, thank you. I'm glad you're doing good too, Belle. Hi, what's up? I'm glad you could make it too. How you guys doing? How are you guys feeling? Honestly, I've been feeling the solar flares. Like, there's been a lot of solar flares recently, apparently, and those always make my moods, like, very up and down. So I don't know if you guys have been feeling that way, too. Let me clean off the camera. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, happy Easter. It's glitching a bit. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's the energy. I don't know how to help it, to be honest. You've been talking to a man, Robin? It's funny you say that because literally today I was like at the ocean and I was like, I'm ready to be my twin's biggest regret in life. Like, I'm ready to be, like, to have him lose me be the biggest regret in his life. Like, I'm over it. I'm done with it. I don't want to do it anymore. I think it sucks. I hate it. And most people on a twin flame journey who don't come into union also feel that way, that it sucks and that they fucking hate it. And that's how I feel right now. I just feel like I fucking hate it. It's stupid. It's holding me back in my life and I don't want to do it anymore, so I'm not gonna. But then usually that's when it, like, comes into fruition. I don't know, it's stupid. But either way, I'm not playing that little game anymore. You got really down yesterday? I'm not surprised. It's the fucking solar flares. Feeling tired and stagnant. Yep. Sure, cause same. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just out here, like, living my fucking best life in this beautiful green room with my beautiful body and my beautiful mind and my beautiful soul. And I'm like, why am I accepting anything less than beautiful? Like, what I'm going through with my twin right now is very fucking far from beautiful. So why would I do that to myself anymore? It's just not on my vibration. Feeling pretty good today. I'm connected with my physical body in yin yoga. I did a full moon sacred bath and felt connected to my twin. Nice. Hi. I'm glad you love when I go live. It's nice to see you too, Cicely. Upgrades and integration. I recently had multiple chips, like, activated within me. She's good. Bella, Cornica is good. She's at home. My family's taking turns taking care of her, so she's at my house. And today my dad stopped by. Yesterday my sister stopped by. Tomorrow my mom will stop by. So she's being taken care of. She's good. But so I just wanted to come on here and let you know that for whatever reason, it seems like a lot of portals are opening up right now with the Star family. Even, like, okay, the technology right now, it literally says there's nobody in here and that that's one like. I know there's not nobody in here because I can see you guys, like, talking. It's fucking crazy. But, and last night I was going, well, during that spell, but I've been standing still trying to figure out this twin stuff. Yeah, trust me, you'll think you've got it figured out and then it won't be. No offense, but it's kind of how the journey is. Even, like, my friend who's in romantic union with her twin right now, like, it's very push and pull, right? They call it runner chaser, but I don't want to call it that because that's stupid. So she was like, I want to call it push and pull because it's like when they pull on her, when he pulls on her, she pushes away and vice versa. So I think it's a better way to say it than runner chaser, because runner chaser feels so like, it feels like you'll never come together, because if one person's always running and the other person's chasing or vice versa, it just, when do you catch up? Right? When do you get into union? I think that's a stupid, like she said that. She's like, it's fucking stupid. And I was like, I agree. So I'm going to stop calling it that and call it the push-pull. So, like, even though she's in romantic twin, like, the push-pull is still insane, you know? And it's like, for what? At this point, I'm just kind of like, for what? But, yeah. Is it still buffering? Is it still buffering, guys? Can you just let me know? Let me see. But it's okay, just a bit, but it's mostly good. I'm sorry. It's very laggy. It's better now. At first it was glitchy. Sorry, guys. Ugh. I'm sorry. My energy, I can't even, like... Okay. I'm glad you feel like it's okay. I'm so sorry. My energy, I can't even listen to my Bluetooth headphones without them, like, fucking glitching. You had to leave when it started and come back to have it load. I'm sorry. It's the energy on top of public Wi-Fi, right? So sorry. When are we going to have another reading? Sorry to bother. It's okay. Probably not, I don't know. It depends. The people next door, sometimes they've been working on the room next door during the day, so it's not really ideal for, like, reading, because they're, like, doing construction and shit next door. So we'll see. I don't really know. Maybe next week, if not this week. Hi. Okay, so I wanted to talk, what did I want to talk about? Oh, so yesterday I was just honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling a lot of guilt and shame lately. And I was feeling a lot of guilt and shame surrounding my ability to do this, surrounding my ability to come to another state and work in this other state and do all these different things that I never used to. Like, if you know me, you know that I was, like, really poor at one point, like, really fucking poor, and I had nothing. And so, I don't know, I guess it's like, sometimes your brain just has to catch up with you, and even though it's been years since I've been in that position, since, like, I think it was, like, 2017, I chose to, like, forever leave my toxic relationship and, like, start to create my own life. But sometimes your brain, it's like body dysmorphia, you know, like when you lose a bunch of weight and then your brain, like, doesn't catch up to it. I feel like that still sometimes. And I just was holding, like, a lot of guilt and shame in my heart surrounding my success, I guess. And I guess that's called imposter syndrome, when you, like, feel like you don't necessarily deserve the good things that you've created for yourself, or like you don't necessarily deserve the platform you created for yourself. And so I guess I've just kind of been moving through that energy these past couple days, and I've talked to my therapist today, and I feel really good. And I'm, you know, guilt and shame because I don't know about you guys, but as a starseed, I just always feel like I'm not. Like, I just feel like the world is so messed up right now that it's hard to feel like you're doing enough on any given day, or that you're doing the right thing on any given day, and giving enough of yourself and doing enough for the collective. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It's something I know I deal with, and I know, like, Elizabeth April talks about it a lot, about feeling like, okay, like, you should be doing more, you should be giving more, like, and she's not saying that we should be, she's saying, like, she feels like that a lot, like, even though she's doing so much for the collective, she never feels satisfied with as much as she's doing for the collective. And I guess I was just feeling that, like, I was just feeling like I wasn't doing enough, or like I'm not, you know, giving back enough, or like I don't deserve. And I just talked to my therapist about it today, and I feel a lot better since talking to her, and just getting a bunch off my chest, and just kind of Yeah. Do you talk to your therapist about a twin flame? Love you. Keep it up. Thank you. Yeah, so actually I did. I had like a lot of conversation with her about my twin today. I don't talk about him as my twin. Like she knows him by his name and as like just like so my therapist is actually a yoga teacher and Reiki healer. So half of my session is usually talk therapy and the other half is Reiki. And so like she just knows him by his name as this guy in my life who we just never really works out the way that I want it to, and just this guy that can't give me what I need and doesn't want to give me what I need. So she sees it from that lens, and it's helpful to hear it from that lens because at the end of the day, like, he is just some guy at the end of the day, right? Like, and it even kind of hurts my heart to say that, but it's true. At the end of the day, we're living in a physical reality. We're living in this 3D universe, and in this 3D universe, he's just some guy. He's just some asshole right now, you know? So he's not all the lives that I've lived with him. He's not my twin. He's not all the different versions of him, all the different multi-dimensional facets of himself, especially because he doesn't even believe in any of this. So he's just some guy. And that's how I need to start looking at him, just some guy that it didn't work out with and that it might never work out with, and have no expectations or hopes around things working out because that's what's realistic. You know what I mean? So yeah. True. I always compare what I'm doing as an individual to these much larger in the world as if I can stop all the issues in 5 minutes. Literally, yes. There's just so much, especially right now. Choosing happiness in myself. I'm not going to move mountains for someone who won't even move an inch. Agree. 100% agree. I'm literally like, I feel like so you know when you see those like acrobats on Instagram, I mean, I have them on Instagram on my phone. I like acrobatic shit. So like I have a lot of acrobats on my Instagram and they will like literally bend in half to the point where you're like, "Oh my god, did your spine just break?" because they're hold on a sec. Where you're like, "Oh my god, did your spine just break because you just bent in half so much?" Like they're literally like bent, like their head is like they're bent in half and their head is like coming through their legs. That's how I picture myself bending, and then I literally picture my twin just like standing up perfectly straight. And I'm like at that same point where I'm like, I'm not going to continue to fucking break my spine in half and put my head between my legs for you when you are just standing there with your hands in your pockets. I have a lot of hate in my heart towards that right now. I don't even want. If you were reincarnated into an animal, what would it be? Does it need to be your spirit animal? I just love hippos, and hippos are more deadly than sharks. So probably a hippo. And they're comprised entirely of circles. They have circle teeth and circle feet and circle toenails, and they're big fat fatties and they're cuties and they're deadly and I like them. I feel compelled to create a community of star seeds, light workers, healers, so we can all work together and heal the world. If we sync up and do it together, I think we can make more of a change. I agree. That's why I do the like portal workings and shit, because we're more powerful together, you know? Yeah, I really feel the need, but I'm not sure where to start. I was thinking TikTok Live since there's so many people there. Yeah. It's just, you know what? You got to start somewhere. I started somewhere. When I started, I had like under 10 subscribers, and one of them was me from another account. Like I can remember when only me was following me on here on YouTube. It was only me and me. And I was like still putting out YouTube videos, and I'd get like 20 views, and I'd be like, 20 people care what I have to say, which is still exciting. You know what I mean? How do you know your spirit animal? I think it might be cats because I look a bit like a cat, and I've always loved them since a baby, but I don't know. So the thing about spirit animals is that you have different spirit animals that come in at different times in your life. You might have some more bigger, major totem animals that walk with you. So like, since I got stung by 20 bees, now I have bee medicine with me, and I have like wasp or like yellow jacket spirits with me because I went through that situation. So, but I've also been told I have a big cat with me, like some sort of big cat that protects me. But at different points in your life, you're going to have different totem animals. So like, let's say you need better boundaries. The octopus is going to come to you and help you to create better boundaries. Let's say you need to have more fun. The dolphin's going to start showing up in your life to help you have more fun. For me, I actually have to look it up. I've been seeing pelicans everywhere since I've been here. So I got to look that up and just see what that means. So you're going to have different different spirit animals for different parts of your life. But yeah. Okay, so I want to talk about density bending, okay? I want to talk about this starseed topic. I got a really big cup. It changes with if it's cold, it turns blue, I guess. I haven't had a really cold drink in it yet, but I still think it's really, really cool because I'm a sucker for big cups. Bro, I feel you. There's a guy that I know I've had past life relationships with, and I feel like he's my twin, but it's like I'm the only one breaking my mind and back over him, and he's just chilling. Literally. There's no point to it. Like, okay, that's not true. Well, at this point, where the erosion and degradation of my relationship with my twin, at this point, I just feel like there's nothing good coming from it anymore, and I just don't want to do it anymore. I feel like all it does is cause me pain and sorrow. He refuses to acknowledge me as an individual or acknowledge how deep his feelings are for me. He only does when he feels like it, and that's just not working for me anymore. I deserve someone who can express their love for me and their appreciation for me and see me for who I am all the time. Not when it's convenient for them or whenever they just feel like it. That's not going to work for me anymore. And I simply don't want to play that game anymore. I'm over it. Exactly. What's meant for you cannot miss you. That's what I'm holding in my heart. And honestly, at this point, I literally don't even care. Like, it was like when we reconnected. It's so hard being this psychic, like in relationships, because I can see every single layer, every single life. I feel so much more deeply than he does. And it's just not, it's been hard since the start. And I just don't think I want to feel so bad anymore because it makes me feel bad. And like, yes, it's made me grow. And yes, like, I will never deny the amount of growth I've seen from this because it's been insane. But it's like that. It's like the memes you see when you're like just tired of the spiritual lessons. You know what I mean? When you're like, when can I catch a break? And I just don't think my twin's ready. I don't know if he'll ever be ready. And I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm just going to catch a break and I'm going to chill by myself. I'm down here living my best life. Every fucking where I look, there's hot men and women. Why would I be crying over someone who doesn't give any shits about me, who acts like they don't care about me at all until I'm about to walk out the door, and then they're like, wait, I have to tell you everything I've ever liked about you, and then give it to me all at once right when I'm about to leave to just pull me back in just to treat me shitty again. I'm not doing it no more. Like I said, everywhere I look, I see a fucking eligible bachelor and bachelorette. What the hell am I doing? Makes me so deep within my solar plexus. I'm just over it. I don't want to play. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play. This motherfucker had the nerve to be like, oh, I wish I was going with you. Why are you not going with me? Because it's not me. It's not me. I'm not the reason you're not here and fucking live my goddamn best life amongst all these hot people with my butt cheeks out in the sun. Love bombs and manipulation, exactly. Hope everyone is doing okay. Anyone who is into astrology knows what transits or big changes are happening. With 2017 being the worst year ever out, those legit had to be hospitalized. I don't know much about astrology. I do know that we're about to have a major full moon and new moon and eclipse at the same time. Thank you. I will continue to preach about my butt cheeks and all the hot people. And you know what the thing is too, like when you're vibrating high, you don't have to, like, I'm truly in that Empress energy. Like all day long, I didn't go up to anybody. People came up to me. People talked to me. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to lift a fucking finger. I'm just doing whatever I want, and then it's like I get all this attention and I'm not even trying. And that's not to sound braggy, that's literally the truth. Like the first day I got here, people just kept staring at me like this. And I don't know why. At first it scared me. I was like, am I ugly? Like, what's going on? Why are people staring at me like that? But it's not that. It's just when you have a high vibration, when you're a witch, right? When you have a high vibration and you're a witch, people don't know what the hell to do with your energy. So they just stare, and then eventually they'll come try to say something or talk to you or like get in your energy because they're like, I don't know what it is about you, but I just want to be around you. Like, I don't have to try. So why am I trying? It's not working. It's not working. So I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm just going to sit here and be hot and let it all fall into place. I feel like my twin is sort of like a cake that's not done cooking. LOL. He still needs some maturing, more growth right now. The right person at the wrong time. Okay, if you are Margaret, I literally just gave that. Okay, if you're not Margaret, that's weird because I just gave that analogy to one of my people that I was reading for. I literally said use the mantra like wait for the cake to bake, because it was like when you're like baking a cake. But that's how I feel too. I feel like he's just not ready, but it's like, what am I going to sit around here for the rest of my life? No, I'm giving up the best years of my life. For what? For you to decide whether or not you even like me? No? Are you kidding? When I have all these other people banging down my door? I don't fucking think so. Hold on. Speaking of which, I have to lock my door. Hold on. No. I'm not fucking, like, it's like I keep sticking the fork in and it's never done. Keep sticking the fork in. Not done, not done. Well, guess what? This bitch wants her cake and she wants to eat it too. I'm over it. Cook or don't. Just fucking don't hold me back anymore. I walked away from the idea of twins. I got sick of feeling like a cat with a mouse dangled in front of it for years. I am on the same page as you, Dutch. Thank you. I've been pulling the Empress left and right. Careful not to get pregnant. People stare like you have a halo around you. Hi, Pragya. How are you doing? Right person, wrong time is the definition of any twin flame relationship. Just live your best life and continue to grow 100%. Do you have any advice for gaining confidence to do difficult things to evolve yourself? Yeah, my advice is do shit that scares you. Y'all, I was so scared to come down here. Like, I'm having the best time and everything's going perfectly, but the day I was going to leave, I had the worst anxiety all day. I had the worst anxiety in the airport. I had the worst anxiety touching down. I had the worst anxiety finding this hotel. You know what I mean? Like, I would say constantly, if you want to build your confidence, do things that scare you and do them even when you're scared. Like, I did not want to get on that plane, but I did. I mean, I did and I didn't. Honestly, I didn't want to come, but I'm glad I did because I booked this a long time ago. So I'm glad I did. And I would say do stuff you don't want to do and not anything that's out of your integrity. Like, don't do things that feel bad. But, like, let's say you're, like, been really wanting to learn how to roller skate, but you're like, I don't know, I might fall on my butt and get hurt. I don't think I want to do that. Do it. Fall on your butt. Laugh at yourself. Today I was literally out dancing in the waves and I fucking went to do a spin and landed on my ass and just like bounced and just sat there laughing at myself. Like, I could have been so embarrassed. Like, oh my God, I'm so, like, No, why? Who cares? We're all human, you know? Get embarrassed. Do the things that scare you. Read about stuff that scared you. The reason I started to look into Satanism was because I was terrified of it. I thought it was the enemy. And then once I started looking into Satanism, I realized there's nothing to be scared of, and that the shit that they sell you as Satanism is actually just cult cult-like and criminal behavior. If I had $1 for every time I said that, I'd be so rich. But it's not like, so much of the time you'll realize that the things that you were scared of are not actually scary at all. And then the more you go through these milestones of like breaking your fears, the more you will feel strong and confident. So like, this is gonna sound really dumb, but you know me, I'm weird. So in high school, I had this like really irrational fear of mechanical sharks, because as a small child, my parents took me on the Jaws ride at Disney World, probably way sooner than I should have ever been on it. And so we were getting attacked by this shark, and I was so scared, and I was like, oh my God. And my parents kept saying, it's okay, Nikki. It's mechanical. It's a mechanical shark. It's a machine. But to me, that didn't mean anything. I was like, this robot shark is gonna fucking kill us. It's gonna capsize our boat and eat us all. So like, as a little kid, I didn't understand that it was all animatronic and that it doesn't matter, you know, like it's not gonna eat you because it's a fucking mechanical shark. So I held a fear for mechanical sharks in my heart until high school. I used to have a recurring nightmare that I was in an Olympic-sized swimming, I can't believe I've never told you guys this, I honestly forgot about it, but I used to have a recurring nightmare that I was in an Olympic-sized swimming pool and there was a shark, and it was just the shark's head, and it was like on this like mechanical arm, so it was like this mechanical shark, and me and my sister we'd be on opposite, because always in my nightmares I like have to protect my sister, and so we'd each be on opposite sides of the pool, and we'd be like inching across, you know how you do that when you're little and you're like inching on the pool? So I'd be like inching on the pool, like, and we'd have to like not wake up the mechanical shark. And so, and then we'd get almost to the end, and then we'd wake it up and it would like come for us. And so I had this crazy irrational fear of mechanical sharks into high school, and everyone thought it was so funny. And even I thought it was funny because it was dumb. And so my dance team, we ended up doing really good at our dance competitions, and we ended up going to like, you know, like nationals or whatever. Like we had ended up going to a really big dance competition where like the best of the best everyone would come to Florida. And so we would go to Universal, like the actual dance competition was at Universal. And so I remember all my teammates were like, Nikki, like redemption, we're taking you on Jaws, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, I'm really scared. I don't want to do it. And I was so scared the whole time. But then I got on the ride, and yes, it freaked me out. The fact that it was mechanical scared the shit out of me. And the fact that it was a shark, like everything about it scared me. But when I came off that ride, I didn't have nightmares anymore. I haven't had that nightmare since. So it's like it's a stupid little thing, but like that's how I've built confidence, is doing stuff that scares me and realizing that the stuff I was scared of wasn't even scary at all. I was super scared of ghosts and demons, and when I finally looked into them and contacted them for the first time, I was like, oh, they're actually pretty cool. Exactly. And the thing about demons or daemons is that a daemon in one culture is a saint in another culture. So just because like Christianity calls that a daemon, some other religion or spirituality or form of spiritual energy calls that a saint or an angel. You know what I mean? So it's like, always just go with what feels right. Well, in regards to Satanism, Satanism isn't a metaphor for freedom or evil. Satan is a real being. Do not tread lightly with such. Just as Jehovah is a real being, so is Satan. To know Satanism is to know him. So I understand it differently. I don't know if you consider Lucifer and Satan to be the same, or if you consider them to be different, but what people generally think is Satan is the Baphomet, And I understand the Baphomet as a metaphor for humans, to go from the spiritual to the physical. But I have a whole video on that, and if you'd like to know my perspective, you can know my perspective on that. But I guess the daemon that I work most closely with is Baal, who also in how he comes to me, he's not the Baphomet though, because he comes in the form of like a deer-headed thing, but then also can break down into flies, because he is the Lord of the Flies. But I don't know, Satanism as a whole, as the religion, I think is deeply misunderstood. That's what I'm saying about that. But yeah, I mean, the ram-headed goat, I'm into the ram because I see it as myself. I see myself as a soul that has fallen into a fleshy form, and that I am dual natured. I am both light and dark because I am of the flesh and I am of the soul. I've also recently started working with Asmodeus. I really like him. He's very neutral. The thing about daemons is they're very neutral. Their energy is very, I mean, obviously it can be wrathful and rageful, but most of the time they're neutral to low. They're not so emotional like humans, and they don't give you that high that like angels or lighter beings give you. They're very neutral. They can help you with neutrality. Lilith's energy helps me with self-love. I love Lilith. I work with Lilith. Lilith gets fucking sick of me. So does Baal, because my emotions run really high, and they're just not very emotional. So they're like literally Lilith will always be like, just calm down. Calm down. You know? Like, she's like, just stop. Like, Baal will literally, like, I'll, like, when I'm in an anxious energy, I can see my spirits around me, and Baal will be, like, fucking, like, 15 feet away from me, because he's like, I cannot deal with your hyperactive energy right now. When I was 7, I was scared of white angels with wings because I saw them in my dreams and woke up in a different place, and then where I fell asleep, and they carried me around my house. Yeah, that's crazy, Bella. My good friend Melissa, when she lived in Puerto Rico, her and her cousins were playing, and they heard something behind them, so they turned around, and she said there was just like a 15-foot angel on the wall, like behind them, and she was like, it was so scary because it was really big, and it's like nothing they'd ever seen in their life, so they all just screamed at the top of their lungs, but then it went away. So yeah, it can be scary, like, when you're dealing with, like when I almost got abducted by the aliens, when I, like, consented to a physical abduction, and then I was like, I'm not ready, I'm so scared, I'm not ready, like, it can be really, like, I've never felt more like Horton Hears a Who. Like, I've never felt more like a little who. I've never felt so small and insignificant in my life as when I almost got physically abducted into a spaceship while I was awake. Because I know it's happened while I've been asleep, but I consented to, like, remembering it and experiencing it and being awake for it, and I wasn't ready. I was not ready for that, and I've never felt like such an insignificant little speck of dust that has, like, no clue about anything in my life than in that moment, because I was like, holy shit, like, it's all real, and I'm just a tiny human. Thank goodness it's not just me. My guides are like, hey, settle down. Know their true plans, then you will know if you can trust them. Yeah, I'm not saying you should just, like, trust any... I am not saying you should trust any spirit. I've been taken advantage of by spirits multiple times in my life. One spirit pretended to be Elegua in my life for fucking, like, almost 2 years until I realized it wasn't. And actually, I've seen that spirit now, and he is, like, behind bars. He's in some sort of, like, demonic jail, and they were like, he's gonna be in here for 700 daemon years, which is, like, way more than human years, so they were like, you'll never have to worry about him again. But basically, he's a fraud. He's a con artist. Just like someone can call you and tell you, oh, we're gonna repossess your house if you don't give me your credit card number right now, and it's a scammer. Spirits are the same way. Spirits can fucking scam you too. I'm not saying you, and I will say, first of all, that the first thing you need to do before you work with any spirits is, first of all, know your spirit, know your personal spirit, your heart and your soul. Second of all, hit up your ancestors, your dead ancestors on the other side, because think about it. If you have nobody in the spiritual realm standing up for you or having your back, it is very easy to get taken advantage of. It is very easy to get lied to. So after you find yourself and your own spirit and your own heart, find your ancestors and your benevolent ancestors, because we've all got good ancestors and we've all got fucking shit ancestors. Like, you don't want your alcoholic uncle who like always like stole from the family and was a disgrace. Like, you don't want that ancestor on your side. Everybody probably hates him on the other side too. You want the like grandma that always made you feel safe. You know what I mean? Like, so once you connect with your ancestors, then you start connecting with deities outside yourself. Guys, don't forget, I've been doing this since I was 18. I am 29 years old now. I'm a 29-year-old woman. I've been doing this for 11 years. That's why I have credit that I have built up. I have a lot of spirit friends. I've built up credit in the astral realm. That's why my spell work works, because I've been working it for 11 years. You know what I mean? Like how I always talk about Arabian Conjure as like the witch that I use as my mentor. Like, I really love her and I love what she puts out in the world, and I love her spell work. It always works. And her spirits are very generous and very loving and very helpful to me. And I'm grateful to have connected with her. She's got fucking credit in the astral realm. She's been doing this for years. Her grandmother was a witch, her mother was a witch, and now she's a witch. You know what I mean? And also, she has some very strong ancestors in the other realms because her mother has passed away. And I just got chills as I'm saying that. So she's got a huge powerhouse backing her up. She's got a lot of credit in the astral realms. And that's why it's good to align yourself with these different people who have spiritual credit, because we are in a spiritual war and it's going to be becoming more evident. I don't know about you, but I've been seeing the veil get thinner and thinner, especially since I've been here, especially with the messing up of technology and everything. So that's why it's really good. Just like you want friends, like you want physical friends, like good networking people that can help you grow your business or help you just, you know, do good things in life. You want spiritual credit in the other realms as well, because that's half of it. You know what I'm saying? Her sister was a witch? That's amazing. I didn't even realize that. One of my angels was like, whenever I see him and I'm like, oh my God, are they an entity? And he was like, dude. It's so funny. Yeah, it can be scary sometimes. Like, I know those aliens weren't trying to scare me. I literally was like, yeah, sure, abduct me. And then I was like, panic button. I don't want to be abducted. I remember as a kid, I stayed up all night at my grandma's house, and at 5-ish in the morning, I looked outside and saw something strange and big crashing out of the sky, something pink and green and sparkling. I still don't know what it was. That's crazy. Isn't it interesting, too, that a lot of us have these experiences when we're children, so it's really easy for, like, our parents to be like, oh, that was just a dream, or, like, oh, you thought you saw something, but you didn't, you know? Like, very invalidating. I felt really sad at the airport because this little boy was trying to talk to me and like tell me stuff and like share stuff about his life, and his mom kept like nudging him and being like, shh, stop. And I just felt so bad that like, cause like she wanted to talk to me and like she was talking to me about stuff, which is fine, like, but like, don't invalidate your son and like take away his voice. He has something he wants to tell me and I want to hear it. I love kids. You guys know I love kids. I wanted to hear what that boy had to say, and she just kept shushing him. It honestly reminded me of being a kid, and like we've all been there when our parent is like basically being like, shut your mouth, like your words don't matter. That's how it felt. And I saw him, he had his little Beanie Boo. He had a little Beanie Boo with him, and he was like so sad, and he was like just looking at the Beanie Boo, and I felt so bad for him because like that's the kind of shit that lasts, right? Like that's the kind of shit that you go to therapy for, because your parents were always invalidating you and you never had a voice. You know what I mean? It's just sad. I'm still children. You are still children. I've been trying to learn more about my mother's side because they came from indigenous people, and sometimes I feel like I won't be good enough for entities or my ancestors. Listen, you are more than enough, okay? It's not, I don't want you to ever think that you're not good enough, okay? You are more than enough, and these entities are going to accept you and love you for who you are, especially if you're their blood. And they, like I said, it's important to connect with benevolent ancestors, with good ancestors, nice ancestors. I was just, kids have so much wisdom, though I wish more parents would encourage their kids and their abilities. I 100% agree. I was just looking up the new moon eclipse. I think I'm going to use the moon water I made. Are there any spells you recommend? Honestly, no, I don't know enough about the new moon and eclipse to I have to look into it, and I have to look at what it's good for. It's funny, speaking of Arabian Conjure, she's doing like some sort of like blockbuster and road opener and return to sender spell, which is really interesting because my spirits were telling me the next thing I needed to do was a blockbuster. And I wanted to do a road opener because I just like to do road openers this time of year. So I don't know, maybe that'd be something to look into, like looking into like blockbusting or road opening, because it is the astrological new year. But honestly, I would have to look up more about what it means for the eclipse on the new moon and how that energy can be utilized, because I haven't done enough research on it yet to give my thoughts, really. Wow, that reminds me of when I was about 5 and I was about 4 in the morning and I woke up and saw a ghost pressed up against the glass staring, and I told my grandma and she told me to shush. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's gonna be a blood moon. Ooh, then I would suggest if you are a female and you menstruate, I would suggest using menstrual blood. It's very powerful. So if you're going to menstruate between now and then, I would say, it might sound weird and gross, but I would say save a couple tampons or pads or whatever you use, and then use them in your spell work and then burn them. I am a blood witch. I use a lot of blood. So like, and people don't know this. They think you have to fucking like slit a fucking animal's throat to use blood magic. No, you don't. You can literally pop a zit. That's what I did for, I'm gonna put you in the know. That's what I did for my last blood ritual that I did right before I left. I like went to prick my finger, and I'm such a baby that I couldn't even break the skin on my finger. I was too scared. And so I literally was like, all right, I got a nasty pimple, and just fucking popped it, and then it bled, and then I used that blood. Because blood is blood, right? And that is what I was getting at about the Satanism, like, and how it's cult-like and criminal behavior. It is criminal behavior to spill people's blood or animals' blood or babies' blood or anything like that you hear about, like mainstream Satanism and stuff. You hear about people doing that much blood. You literally need a drop. That's why I'm saying these people are just evil criminals, because if you know anything about magic, you know you don't need that much blood. You certainly do not. And you don't need someone else's blood. You can use your own. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's why I say they're criminals and that they're not actually doing good things. Hi, Nicole. How about dragon's blood sage? Yeah, that's great. Any kind of dragon's blood. How are you doing, Nicole? You have to let me know how Fernando likes your beauty potion. I thought that was so cute, the message when you were like, oh, and how'd the job interview go? It was like you were waiting for a job interview, right? But I thought that was so cute when you were like, I wanted the cutie pink bottle, and I just can't wait to see how Fernando reacts. And I was like, that's so perfect that your boyfriend's name is Fernando. I don't know, I just thought it was the cutest thing ever. I don't know why, I just loved it. I love hearing more about you guys and like more about your life and like putting the pieces together. I love how real you are, Duchess. That's so funny, using pimple blood. Thanks! I mean, it's true. Are you kidding me? You don't have to fucking kill a chicken out here and like spill its blood or fucking like slit an animal's throat. Are you kidding? Just walk into your fucking bathroom, wash your hands, pop your pimple, put some peroxide on it so it doesn't get infected, and then take like the little piece of toilet paper and stick it on there, and there you go. And then take the toilet paper off and use that blood. Put it in the petition, and there you go. goddamn, like, people are out here really doing the most when you don't have to. I love blood magic, but what pisses me off is the motherfuckers on TikTok making up blood spells and acting like it's easy to break and all fun and games. Shake my head. Literally, that's why I don't like TikTok. TikTok is full of shit. Also, Pinterest get full of shit too, because I saw that someone was trying to say that, like, the left eye is the left eye is the eye of Horus and Ra, and that the right eye is the eye of Thoth. Are you kidding me? Like, that makes my blood boil. Like, right, you can always remember that. Ra is right. Right, the right eye is the eye of Ra. The left eye is the eye of Heru. The Father and the Son. There is no eye of Thoth. Like, when I read that, I was like, because there's fact checkers are really out here checking the most stupid fucking facts of misinformation, and I'm like, bitch, what about all this other misinformation? Like, how dare you? And half the shit they're naming that's misinformation ain't fucking misinformation. It just doesn't fit their narrative, or it makes one of their own look bad. So then they claim it's misinformation when people are out here really trying to say the eye of Ra is the eye of Thoth. Are you kidding me? Like, oh, I have to say, when I started learning this shit, like I said, I've been doing this for 11 years. And when I started, first of all, there wasn't the internet. There was the internet, but it wasn't like this. You couldn't find information like this. YouTube wasn't like this. There wasn't Instagram. I think, I don't even think Instagram existed. I think it was just Twitter. And, like, certainly no TikTok. So, like, I feel for people who are starting their spiritual journey, because there is just so much crap. There's so much lies and so much crap out there. I'm glad you're hello, Nikki. I'm doing really good. Got the job starting on the 25th. Aw, thanks. I love his name, Fernando, too. Haha, sounds like a romantic Spanish dude. Yes, it does. Yay, I'm so happy you got the job. Congratulations. Yay. It freaks me out. They are different because I notice one pupil is larger than the other. Wait, what are you talking about? It's because you're a master. Gonna be a while until I use the beauty potion, though. I'm scared to use it. Don't be scared. Yeah, I've been kind of laying off my potions while I've been here, too, because I'm like, I don't want to draw too much attention. Oh my god, the obsession spells, don't get me started. Yeah. Why would anybody want anybody to be obsessed? Like, I literally saw a video of a man going, like, shining on someone's door, like, literally with, like, a hatchet, like, hatcheting down their door, and someone was like, when an obsession spell goes wrong, and I was like, dude, did you really think it was gonna go right? Like, think about... Okay, this is another witchy tip. Before you put any words in your manifestation or your spell work, I want you to look up the definition, because you might know what a word means to you, but that can be the actual definition of that word. And that's something that's helped me so much on my spiritual journey, is when I hear a word in my head, especially if I don't know the word, I love to look up the definition and truly understand that word inside and out, because... like I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there. And also, if you really want to take your spell work to the next level, do it in Latin, because Latin is like the original language. Here's Johnny. Exactly. It's funny you mentioned blood spells, because I bought this apocalyptic witchcraft book when I lived in Seattle and never looked at it. It talks about dreams, the wild hunt, and menstrual magic. Definitely look into it. That's reassuring, right? I feel like I messed up my twin flame because one of those love spells. It took some time to fix it. Honestly, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen. If it was going to get messed up, it was going to get messed up. But, like, I don't think spell work is good in Twin Flame Journey. Like, love spells and like think about me spells and things like that. Like definitely like when I was doing the fire ceremonies, I think those were good because they were removing blockages and stuff, and they were very focused on the person, not the twin. Like it was focused on the person getting the spell. But I think whenever you're like, think about it. Like for me, if you tell me to do something, I'm gonna do the opposite. So I already know my twin's like that too. If I'm out here being like, call me, call me, call me, think of me, obsess about me, he's gonna be like, no, I'm gonna do the literal opposite. You know what I mean? So just think of it like that. Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed the advice. Everyone should watch The Water if available to you. I don't think I have access from Australia, but it's about COVID and how they found out it could be from snake venom. Somebody just sent that to me. Oh my God, someone just sent that to me, that like anti-venoms work against it, and that it could possibly have come because like they were saying it came from a bat and this and that, and like obviously that's been disproved. But they think, yeah, they think it's a poison. They think it's a venom. So that's super interesting. I'm sorry it's yeah, your country and New Zealand are doing the most, dude. Like it's completely disturbing and unfair what you guys are going through. Honestly, the blue states in America have been pretty messed up too. And I'm not on any side. I'm not red. I'm not blue. Just like I'm not a part of any religion. I'm just calling it like I see it and like I've seen it. It just seems like those states, for whatever reason, have had more of an ability to create extreme rules, and I assume it's because the red states are more of like, no, like we're here for freedom, whereas the blue states, people are a bit more complacent, I assume, and a bit more like following authority. So, but yeah, it's been bad in a lot of places. I'm so sick of politics. Why can't everyone just be happy? Literally same. I'm like, can everyone just shut the fuck up and can we have world peace already? And I know that probably sounds really ignorant, but it seems like the humans want peace, like the regular humans want peace. It seems like the only people who don't are the political leaders. And it's like, why can't you guys just fucking fight amongst yourselves and leave us out of it? You have everything. You have all the money. You have all the power. You have all the businesses. You have literally everything. Why do you need to enslave our souls too? Why do you need to start a war? What, like, none of us asked for this. None of us want this. None of us want to be a part of this. Fucking leave us alone. If you want to be hateful and do stuff to hurt each other, fine. Leave the collective out of it. You know what I mean? I feel like we're all at that point now where we're like, this is a you problem. The collective is over it. We don't want to listen to your rules anymore. We don't want to listen. We don't want a world war. We just don't want any of this. And it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. Literally, guys, I just want you to remember all of this started with the sacrifice of the Amazon rainforest, okay? An attack on, I just got covered in chills, an attack on indigenous land. Personally, I think the death of Kobe, remember when that happened right before Super Bowl? So Super Bowl is the biggest human of the year. There's the most human trafficking that goes on in the entire year during the Super Bowl. So, and right before the Super Bowl, remember Kobe and his daughter died? I think that was a sacrifice. I think it was a sacrifice of the divine masculine and the divine feminine as well as the next generation. So I think they sacrificed him. I think, and with the Amazon forest burning, and the fires in Australia and everything like that. So I know specifically in the Amazon what happened. I saw a video on Instagram of a koala crossing the street. Your audio went out when I was talking about the Amazon and Kobe. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna say a prayer too because I'm going to say a prayer too because I already knew that when I started talking about this, this happens every time, right? If you go on lives with me, you know that they always do this. When I start spitting real shit, they will crash the live. They will mess up my audio. It happens every time. All right, I'm just going to say a prayer. Benevolent guides, guardians, ancestors, angels, star family, higher self, Yeshua, Baal, Orion, God, source, I humbly come to you today, and I ask please that you put a shield over this live. Ask that you please put a cloak over this live, an invisibility cloak, that nothing that is not for the highest and greatest good may have eyes on this live. Ask please that you shield all of those watching it, any client who comes across this, as well as myself. Ask please that you shield and protect us now, in Source's name, in God's name, in Yeshua's name. I pray in my name. Amun Rashi, namaste, by the power of three, Samodit be always works, always a blessing. The higher ups are having a close eye on me lately. Same. Happens all the time. And that's the alien AI. You saw a panther deity protecting us? That's amazing. Okay, so back to my rant. So all of this, the New World Order was ushered in through the sacrifice of Kobe and his daughter, in my opinion, as well as the sacrifice of the Amazon and all of the animals. And I saw a happy little koala crossing the road the other day, and I was like, damn, on like Instagram, and I was like, damn, isn't it good to see a koala that's not screaming while his flesh is falling off his body because he got burnt alive? Like, I don't think we ever really acknowledged all of the trauma we've all been through over the last 2 years. Like, it's insane. So they did that with Kobe and his daughter. They sacrificed a divine masculine, a divine feminine, and the next generation. And then they did all this human trafficking during the Super Bowl. And then they burnt down the Amazon. And the indigenous people of the Amazon had been in a legal pursuit with some big corporation that wanted to buy the land. And so they took it to court because it was the indigenous people's land, and the indigenous people won. Within 13 days of losing that lawsuit, that exact land that they wanted to buy was on fire. Why do you think it was on fire? It wasn't a fucking accident. They burnt it to the ground because they didn't get their way and they wanted to build on it anyway. It was also a major sacrifice, just like the sacrifice in Australia. This was all a major sacrifice to usher in the New World Order, in my opinion. That's funny because the cloak I imagine was black and furry. That is funny. You tell people something long enough, they start to believe it. Exactly. That's desensitization for you. It makes me sick. Literally. Like, the person I am today would think that the person I was before lockdown was a fucking pussy because I was so, like, different. I wasn't as jaded. I'm very jaded. I'm a lot tougher now than when all of this started, just like I'm sure you are too, because that's what trauma does, right? It makes you more psychic and it makes you more tough. So joke's on them because we're all getting tougher and more psychic. But it'd be nice if it would stop for a while. I'm covered in chills. It's terrible. Yep. Been reflecting a lot on the energy of 2 years ago. Yeah, because it was like 2 years ago this time that we were all realizing our lives were going to be changed forever for a long ass time. I can't even recall who I was before the pandemic, literally. Hi, Teresa. I went to visit a friend in Tennessee and she drove me through an area devastated by a tornado. I felt physically sick before we got in the car and while driving through the area. That's the other thing, guys. We're going to see, my spirits told me we're going to see natural disasters this year and that they're going to blame it on us and try to blame, like, us for... How funny is it that the same people who take private jets everywhere want to yell at you about climate change, want to yell at you about how you should reduce, reuse, and recycle, and you're like, motherfucker, there's only so much recycling I can do. Maybe if you weren't taking a private jet everywhere, the ozone wouldn't be destroyed. So that's just, and how they're like, oh, you shouldn't eat meat because it's not good for the environment. Okay, well, maybe you should stop your fucking giant plant. Like, maybe you should close your Amazon plants or, like, your giant industrial plants. Maybe that's not good for the environment. Don't tell me whether the fucking I can have a hamburger or not. That's my fucking choice. You know, it's not my fault the ozone's being destroyed. It's literally the rich people yelling at us for it. It's their fucking fault. I could go on for days about the hypocrisy and the audacity of the 1%. I could go on for days, but it doesn't matter. They've already lost power. People don't trust them. People don't care about what they have to say anymore. They really stuck their own feet in their mouths and they destroyed every illusion they had created around their goodness. Nobody sees them as good anymore. Everybody sees them as the enemy and as unrelatable, and I'm grateful for that. But that's what Spirit told me. They were like, it's gonna do it itself. Like, you don't have to tell people. They were like, it's gonna take some time, but people will figure it out themselves, because it's gonna be such a nightmare that people will eventually figure it out themselves. So much negative energy. I saw a lot of car crashes yesterday. Yeah, that full moon too was no joke. They can't keep it up for long. We're gonna win the war. That's the thing, Pragya. We already have. They're just, it's like I totally lost my train of thought. It's okay. So it's like someone who, like, okay, so let's say like two people broke up. One person just doesn't care about the other person. Okay, they just showed me the Jersey Shore, okay? You remember, for those of you who watched the Jersey Shore, remember when like Sammy Sweetheart was like home alone crying about Ronnie, and Ronnie was like out partying, like literally like licking other women's boobs in the club, and she's like at home crying about the relationship, and he's like he's got a face full of tits in public. Like, it's like that. Like, the 1% is Sammy Sweetheart crying at home. We are Ronnie out with a face full of tits in the bar, like out just like we've already won. Like, you can sit there and cry and make it as hard as you want and try to make it seem like you're winning or like it's all gonna work out. It's not gonna work. You already lost. Ronnie, we're already gone. We're already out in the club. We already found 3 other new bitches. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it. I'm glad you guys like that analogy. My spirits just gave that one to me. But it's true. They already lost. They're just, it's like too, like when you tell a kid, when they're like, yo, like, okay, for example, when I used to nanny, we are the Ronnies in the club. Haha, I work at a strip club. That was perfect. Yay. Okay, so like the boy I used to nanny used to be like, I want Sour Patch Kids at 7 a.m. And I'd be like, no, you're not having Sour Patch Kids at 7 a.m. because you'll be a nightmare for the rest of the day. Not only will your breath fucking stink for the rest of the day and you're going to be breathing in my face all day, but you're going to be a nightmare because you're going to be all hacked up on sugar and then you're going to crash. So it's like he would kick and scream and put up this fight and blah, blah, blah and think he was going to win, but there was no way he was going to win. There was no way he was going to get those fucking Sour Patch Kids. There was no way. I wasn't going to let it happen. So it's like, you got to think of it like that. They're kicking and screaming and they're making it as hard as possible. But at the end of the day, we're not going to budge. They're not going to get the fucking Sour Patch Kid. They're just not. They want like a completely like subservient, almost AI like hive mind version of this reality. And I gotta break it to you, this reality, humanity will never be a hive mind. No one, we will never all have the same opinions or beliefs or thoughts. That's part of what makes this reality. It is dual natured. It is 3-dimensional. It is both light and dark, and there's going to be many facets to this reality, always. We will never have a hive mind like in other dimensions. That's what they want. They want us to be this weird like hive mind AI race that they can just control and have do whatever they want, and it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna fucking happen. It'll never happen because it can't happen in this reality. The way, yes, we are moving into 5D, but at the end of the day, this is still Earth, and Earth is still polarized, and Earth is still dynamic. It's never going to be that way. They want everyone as clones of each other. It's so annoying. Exactly. And that's part of this whole fact checker and misinformation shit. It's like, because they want everyone to think the same. But it's like I was saying, if you tell me to do something, I'm probably going to do the opposite. So it's, but I don't think these people are human. I don't know what they are. Honestly, I have no idea, but I don't think they're human because they don't think like humans. They don't understand humans. They cannot relate to humans, and they don't think like humans, and they certainly don't act like humans. And the reason I came to that conclusion is because so many of them are pedophiles. And just the fact that like a healthy human would look at a child and want to nurture it and protect it the fact that these people look at a child and have the most evil, sinister thoughts in their mind to abuse that child shows me that there's something very not human about them. Because if you ask me, quite frankly, I don't think there's really anything human about these 1%ers other than the body that they're in. And even so, have you ever met any of them in real life? I haven't. For all I know, they could be a fucking AI bot, like a really, really good AI bot. Or for all I know, they could be a fucking hologram. I don't know. I've never been in the same room with them. That's why I don't believe anything that the news or the internet or anything even tells me. I don't believe anything until I experience it or see it with my own eyes, because there are so many ways that you can trick people these days. Technology has gone to such a point, and you better believe that they're at least 20 years in advance above us from what they give us. What we have right now is like years and years in the past of what they figured out. But they do that to keep us subservient. They do that to keep us a slave race. So for all I know, these people are fucking AI bots or holograms, because I ain't never met one. I ain't never been in the same room as one. So I'm sure as fuck not going to trust anything that I see. Some of them are Wendigos. Oh my God, I just got chills when you said that. And it's crazy because like after I connected with my really good friend who I like met serendipitously across the country, like she found me through YouTube and then we ended up connecting, but she's from California and all this stuff. Literally, they sent an SW after her. She was like, I've never been more scared in my life. And I'm not going to tell the story because it's not my story to tell, but they literally sent an SW after her. So that just activated my DNA, and I felt that like to my core, especially, oh my God, I'm getting chills right now, especially because of the mass slaughter of the indigenous. Why do they hate the indigenous so much, right? Like, why'd they want them dead so bad? Because they literally hold all the secrets to life, like, within their culture. That's why there was this mass slaughtering of life. They don't want life. They don't want love. They want hate. They want evil. They want hell on earth, you know? SW, I guess I'll just say it. It's a skinwalker. But you're not supposed to, like, say it too much. But I'm not worried. I'm in a very populated area. Because they're very connected. Yep. Nah, I love how the news puts out brand new technologies, even though we've already know they've been so much more advanced than we think. Exactly. And I feel like Horcruxes were symbolism for how evil people give their soul to become immortal. I don't even know what that is. I have to look into that. Because indigenous people know how to live with resiliency and with nature rather than against it. Exactly. The indigenous were the people of the earth. You and I, whether you are indigenous or not in this life or in past lives, we are humans. And I learned this from a Native American speaking, because I don't have any living Native American ancestors that were a part of the culture. So I have to do a lot of my own research. And even so, there's only so far you can get, because there's not a lot out there about Native American culture. But I was listening to a Native American speak, and he was very wise. He was saying that no matter what, humans are of the earth. We cannot go to another planet and survive, okay? So that's why it's so important for us to work in communion, essentially, with the earth and in a symbiotic relationship with the earth, because the earth is us. We are of the earth. We are a part of the earth. We are the earth. Humans are earth people. And that's why I think these people who are running shit and trying to ruin everything are not earth people. Because if they were earth people, they wouldn't be doing any of this stuff. They wouldn't be thinking the way they're thinking. Ugh, it's so crazy. They call them walkers, like the Walking Dead. Yeah. Ooh, that just gave me chills. And a friend and I had to vanquish one that came after me about 3 years ago. Very scary experience. Dude, my friend literally, like, the thing was making all these, like, ungodly noises that she'd never heard in her life. And it was, like, in the, like, brush they were outside in the dark, and she lives in the middle of nowhere, which is where they are, and it was like hiding in the bushes and shit, like over this cliff. And she's very psychic. I just got covered in chills again. And she had a vision of this thing literally spilling her guts, and she just ripped her other friend and killing her friend that was with her. And she was like, we have to go now. And they like, I'm covered in chills. And they got in the car and they drove away to a whole ass another city. They drove to the city. They were that scared. And then when she was doing research on it, she found out that some of them just do that. Some of them just like to spill guts. They just like to disembowel people and just spill their guts. Which, think about that. That's on Silence of the Lambs too. Hannibal the Cannibal. He wasn't exactly human, was he? And he disemboweled Patsy. He disemboweled the Italian man. Just finished The Walking Dead right now. We are too codependent on the Matrix. Amen. Which leads me to why I wanted to do this live. I wanted to talk about bending density and manipulating your matrix grid. Girl, there's a great book called The Original Instructions by Melissa K. Nelson, and it's about community and sustainability, all from different native cultures, if you're into that. I would love that. If you remember, can you just email it to me, because I will not remember. What's it called? Called The Original Instructions. I'm going to look that up. Why did the LED lights turn on by themselves? I do not know. Though I am not native Australian, I love talking to the elders about their way of life, and it is so sustainable and connected to Mother Earth. Yeah, you want to talk about fucking sustainability? Like, and how I was talking about how they're like, oh, reduce, reuse, recycle, while they're fucking taking their jets everywhere. Like, that's why I'm like, y'all are hypocrites and full of shit. Because if you wanted to be sustainable, we would not be living the life we're living, and you would not have corporations that you have, because corporations make it impossible to be sustainable. Literally, Bill Gates is out there just like putting powder in the atmosphere, like, to stop like global warming. I'm sorry, I didn't consent to that. I didn't consent to you just throwing random powder in the atmosphere. I don't think that's very good for my lungs during a pandemic. Also, who made you the end all be all saying that you're allowed to fucking throw powder into the Earth's atmosphere? No thanks. None of us fucking consent to that. I know the Earth doesn't consent to that either. Like, why? Like, the thing that blows my mind about this people is they just try to play God, and they think they're good at it when they're literally the actual worst at it. Like, the literal worst at it. We can only do so much to help the environment when the systems we're expected to do aren't conducive to a positive change. Exactly, but they'll sit there all day long and point the finger at us and tell us that, like, we're the reason that, like, things aren't going well or that things aren't good. Like, they claim that what we do is woo-woo, but it's based off of centuries of scripture. Yeah, that's the big lie, right? One of the big lies. There's many big lies. Hi, Mandy. Oh my God, they really are the literal worst. It's true. No, they are. And my last live, I said they're so bad. They're like supervillains, but they're so bad at being supervillains that I literally just imagine them now as like a cartoonish version of a supervillain, like twirling their mustache, like, hee, what lie can I tell today that I can try to like fool the collective with? But like we were saying, all this trauma has made us stronger, tougher, and more psychic, and they're not pulling the wool over our eyes anymore. Jeff Bezos isn't human. I don't like his energy. Something isn't right. I mean, I could name all these names, and this live will get taken down. Him, fucking Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. I know a lot of people support him. I don't trust him. I think he's weird. I don't like him or Grimes. I think they're weird. I don't like either of them. I don't like how they're trying to make an AI society. I don't like how they pretend to be all about freedom, but then also be communists. Like, it doesn't add up, right? Like, you don't get to be pro-humanity while also pro-technocracy. You don't get to be pro-freedom while also being pro-communist. Like, they are constantly contradicting themselves, and I think they think that they're smarter and better than everyone else, and I just really don't like their energy. I know a lot of people support them. I don't like them. Yeah, he is fucking Jeff Bezos. Literally, what made me be, I like Conjure Queen calls him Jeff Bozo. What got me was when he went to space and he was like, he literally laughed in all our faces and was like, thanks to every Amazon customer who ever bought anything from me, you're the reason I get to go to space right now. Ha ha ha, and like laughed about it. Like, I was like, how fucking condescending and rude. Like, you're not saying thank you. You're being like, haha, like, you're not genuinely, like, there's a difference between being like, thank you so much to everyone who's ever supported me or believed in me. Like, it's because of you that I'm doing this. This is my dream, blah, blah, blah. There's a big difference between that and being like, hey, thanks for buying. You're the reason I get to go to space. Like, fuck you. I can't stand them. Me either. Can't stand ya. I remembered that moment. I watched it live. It was evil. I felt it too. I couldn't even stomach watching it. Like, I just watched him say that and I was like, oh, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna head out. Literally, because I just fucking fuck Jeff Bozo. I stopped shopping on Amazon. I tried. There's certain things I can only get on Amazon. Like, if I want the big things of resin, I have to get them on Amazon. But I do my best not to get anything that I don't have to from there. Same, I got so angry, right? It's very condescending. It's very, and the other thing about those people is they're the first people to yell at us for having privilege. So, like, yell at people for having, like, whatever kind of privilege they want to assume that we have or that society tells you have based on a certain standard of living or your life or your skin or pretty privilege or whatever. And I'm not saying any of that isn't real. I'm not saying that at all. It's very real. But don't sit there on your high horse and act like I'm privileged when you are the richest person I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's the same thing I'm saying about how they're like, it's the same thing with, like, climate change. Yeah, we have to take care of the earth. We have to do these. It's important to acknowledge these things, but don't sit there on your high horse and act like you're not privileged. Don't sit there on your high horse and act like you're not destroying the environment. You are. You are directly the problem. You created the systems that create privilege. You created the problems in the first place that started climate change. Don't sit there and tell me it's me and my neighbor and my peer so that me and my peer start fighting and blaming each other for everything while you sit on your throne. It's we never got out of the royalty, right? We never truly removed ourselves from royalty. We still have these people with too much power ruling over a small group of people with too much power ruling over a large group of people. It's the same thing, and they just want, that's why it's called, like, divide and conquer, because they want you to look at that person next to you and be like, hey, like, you have this privilege and I don't because of the color of your skin or the way you look or this or that, and that might very well might be true, but it's not that person next to you's fault that they're a part of a system that they didn't create and that they have this going on. So then we start fighting with our neighbor, and then it's like the more they divide us, the more they can conquer us, right? That's why that's that old saying, like, divide and conquer. Not to mention how they abuse their workers. Exactly. I'm so happy you caught my live too. Like, there are so many, and that's like why I was feeling sad these past couple days, because there are so many things that are wrong with the world that I wish I could just fix, and I can't. I'm just doing my best here. Hi. I'm so glad you caught it too. But it's like, that's why I've been feeling so existential these past couple days, because there's so much wrong. There's so much more I wish I could do. There's so much, I wish I could take everyone's pain. I wish I could fix all these problems. I wish I could destroy all the systems. I wish I could, and I can't. And that's what's frustrating. So that's why I have to, like, come into this state of acceptance and just be appreciative and grateful for my success and use it to the best of my ability to continue to help the collective to the best of my ability, because there's only so much any of us can do. It's like when vegans try and shame natives for hunting when they're literally the only group of people who hunt sustainably. Literally. But that's another agenda, right? Like, there are vegans that don't bother anyone, that are just out here being vegan because they want to be vegan and it works for them. Okay. And then there are the vegans that yell at you because you're not doing exactly what they want you to do exactly when they want you to do it, which is just very codependent, right? You could say that about any group of people, not just vegans. You could say that about the right, the far right. You could say that about the far left. You could say that about a lot of different groups, right? You could say that about a lot of different people in a lot of different groups, that they will sit there and shame you for not doing exactly what they think you should be doing, when in reality, like, okay, so whenever the government is pushing something, someone just said, don't get me started on GMOs, literally. Okay, but anyway, whenever the government is really pushing something, I'm usually going to do the opposite. And right now, the government is really pushing veganism. Really, really, really pushing veganism. And I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with veganism. I'm saying what I've been saying since the start of the pandemic, that every single human body is built differently, and that one size does not fit all for everyone. For example, me, the type O blood type, I do better with red meat. I just learned this, and I spent 15 years of my life anemic. I spent literally half of my life anemic because I didn't eat red meat or pork, because I just wanted to do my part and not eat meat. And so I hurt myself by helping, whatever they convinced me I was helping by not eating this meat. So then when I learned that I needed the Beyond Meats, I don't even believe Beyond Meat. I think it's real meat. And for all I know, it could be human meat. Think about that. When you go anywhere, when you get a processed chicken nugget, remember when they used to say that there were fetuses in McDonald's food? That came from somewhere, right? Remember when someone found a whole ass finger in the fucking chili at Wendy's? That was a thing, and they tried to say, oh no, they brought their own finger. Who brings their own finger? I mean, maybe someone would do it, but honestly, how do you know? How do you know that's not human meat? How do you know that's Beyond Meat? How do you know? And even if it is beyond, I can remember when I was eating all these veggie burgers and I sat there and I read the ingredients and I was like, how do I know any of this is even real? And do you know what made me think that? I had a Beyond Burger from Burger King, and it made me really sick. And when I was eating it, I felt like it was meat. Like, I did not believe that it wasn't meat. And then I hadn't eaten red meat in years and years, and I got really sick from it. And I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and trust my gut and believe that that was meat and that it wasn't Beyond Meat. How do we know? Even looking at I'm just looking around my room right now, there's a bottle of wine. How do I even know that the ingredients that they say on that bottle of wine are the ingredients in that bottle of wine? You don't know. You weren't there when they made it. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing too is there are certain things that are illegal in other countries, but America just lets us eat them. But in other countries, they're illegal because they're so unhealthy and bad for you. But so for 15 years, I didn't eat red meat or pork. Come to find out that that's exactly what I need for my blood type. I started eating it after 2 weeks. I was no longer anemic, and my iron levels were perfect. After 2 weeks, I had so much less fatigue, and I'm not just out here eating whatever meat. I go to Whole Foods, and I make sure that I meat that comes from that they say, and even then, I don't know if it actually comes from where they said it came from, but that's my best option, I guess, right now, because I don't really live in a place where I can just go to a farmer or whatever and just know exactly where the meat's coming from. I hope to have the opportunity one day. I don't have that right now, but so it's like I was saying, since the beginning of this pandemic, every single human body is different. One human body is going to respond perfectly to veganism, and it's going to be the answer to all their health problems. Like my friend Karen, who's diabetic, she's been vegan and it's helped her so much physically. It's helped her a lot. For me, it's not for me, and that's okay. It's okay to be different, because we're all different. No matter what, we're always going to be different. It's okay to have different needs. That's part of life, baby. That's part of being human. U.S. food is produced to kill its people. It's very sad. Up in the air. I'll post it on Instagram, but it's one thing. I need chapstick. Hold on. I'll post it on Instagram, but it's one thing to see chemtrails from the ground. It's another thing to see chemtrails in the air. They're weird. They were like, we were flying next to chemtrails and they were weird. And you know what? The spirits came to me and they were like, Nikki, when you go live, I'm so glad this came up because they told me I needed to talk about this. They were like, you need to tell people that we need to give ourselves so much more credit because everything they do, they're trying to kill us. Everything they do, they're trying to poison us. The V, it's an attempted population control and poisoning. Chemtrails, attempted population control and poisoning. Processed food, attempted population control and poisoning. Literally, our water is bad. Like, thank God we have clean running water, but tap water is fucked up. So it's like literally everywhere we look, we're being poisoned. We're being poisoned in the air. We're being poisoned in the water. We're being poisoned in the food. Like everything, we're being poisoned by our cleaning supplies. We're being poisoned by literally everything. Everything we do, we're being poisoned. And we have to give ourselves so much more credit because not only are we still surviving, but we're thriving. We're being poisoned by 5G. We are thriving in all of this poison, and I want you guys to hold in your mind and in your heart a time when we're not going to be poisoned anymore. Like, there's going to be a time when this evil reign of terror, hi, baby Pico, when this evil reign of terror comes to an end. And think about, we're going to be so light. Like, think about how dense we probably are from all this poison. Our skin is going to clear up. Our health problems are going to clear up. Like, we're going to feel so light. And we're going to let go of so much density once we're no longer constantly being abused. We're being abused in every way. We're being abused physically. We're being abused emotionally. We're being abused spiritually. Isolated us from our families and our friends over the last 2 years. We're being abused financially. You don't get to go to work unless you're essential, and we decide what is essential. We're literally being abused in every way, and I want you to think about yourself as an abused. You feel like you're doing, you are alive and you are living through the literal apocalypse, and you are thriving amongst some of the worst abuse that the systems have ever put on the people, outside of slavery and things like that in recent times, I'll say. So give yourself some credit. Every single thing that's happening right now is an attempt to kill us, and we just won't die. So give yourself some credit if you're not only living and but you're thriving right now, you know? They're messing with the audio. I'm not surprised. I truly believe cancer is targeted at the lower class, mainly because organic and non-GMO shit is so expensive. Fast food is legit $1. I completely agree. And don't tell me they don't have a cure. Are you kidding me? Of course they have a cure. Everything is either a dollar sign or lack thereof to them. Exactly. I was forced to take the V, and it's been so hard to lucid dream, astral project, and even contact my spirit guides. It makes me so sad and depressed. Anna, I want you to go to elizabethapril.com. She has a $22 course on how you can transmute the V. She's very smart. She channels. She's really amazing. And I think it's called System Override, but it will have the description on there. She has a whole, I bought it. I haven't watched it because I haven't needed to necessarily yet, but I have it just in case. It's only $22 and it teaches you how to actually transmute it when you've already gotten it and get your body back to where you were before you got it. elizabethapril.com. System Override, I think is what it's called, but it'll explain in the description, like I said. And I just had 40 people in here, and now it's saying that there are only 13 people in here. So right when I was talking about how we should be proud of ourselves because everything they're doing is trying to kill us. FBI agent alkalated to watching Dutch's lives is probably a fan deep down. I hope so. Hi, FBI agent. Do you love me? Do you have a secret crush on me? Is that actually why you're here? Biomagnetism works. Ooh, I don't know what that is. I'm going to look into that. When do we get to the good times? Honestly, Fallen Soap, I've been screaming at my spirit guides asking the same question, but they told me that this whole COVID thing was going to go on for 2.5 years, which we're almost to the 2.5 year point, but I've also been told, and other channelers have been channeling, that this is going to go till probably 2024. We won't start to see things get better, I don't think, until like 2024. Yeah, so I don't know though. I'm holding. I hope it's the truth. The FBI agent needs to pick a card. That was weird. Your mouth wasn't syncing up with your words and then it snapped back. I gotta tell ya, the technology, on top of them not liking what I'm talking about. I was literally, you realize our bodies are literally magnets, right? Right. That's why you can get struck by lightning, because we're a conductor. We're just a conductor for energy. I was literally thinking whether or not you've posted, and then I saw you were live. Divine timing. Perfect. You probably heard my soul. It was probably like, hey everybody, I'm here. I feel like this has given us a lot of space to get to know ourselves. Good. Oh, the pandemic. Yes, I agree. Like I said, I'm a completely different person now. Take this shit down. They're also very high vibrational, right? They're very interdimensional, very high vibrational. They hate that. Oh, you talk to me in the ethers? That's cool. A lot. I guess I talk to a lot of people in the ethers too, and I come in a lot, like, I guess so many people tell me all the time that I come in their dreams and like give them advice in their dreams, or like give them like spiritual information in their dreams. On reality shifting, I've been trying to do it for nearly 2 years. I haven't done it on command. So I was about to go to sleep, but then I decided to check YouTube first. Let's talk about that. So I want to talk about practical ways that you can bend density in your reality, as well as manipulate your matrix grid. So where's my notebook? Here it is. So when I talk about bending density, I basically mean defying the laws of physics. I like pole dancing because I feel like I'm defying the laws of physics, which I am, right? I'm defying the laws of gravity. Not only am I using my strength to lighten my density and pull myself up, but I'm also manipulating the energy through using my skin to stick to the pole, and I'm also manipulating the energy through moving through different balancing techniques, like when I'm upside down and stuff. Like, I have to be a master manipulator of gravity and of my personal density. I also have to be very mindful while I'm doing that, or I'll fall on my fucking head. So that, to me, is an example of density bending, because I'm very dense. I like to, if I stand up and I just kick my feet out from under me right now, I will fall. I will hit the ground because gravity, and I'm dense. So when I get on a pole and I'm doing all this stuff upside down and using my strength and my body and my manipulation and my stick and everything like that, I'm bending density. And I like to do this in a lot of different forms. And I was thinking about that because I was playing in the waves, and it was shallow, but I was like playing in the waves, and so I was like doing all this fucking like doing all this ninja shit and like just playing with my density because I was more buoyant. I was very light, so I was able to do all this like weird like breakdancey stuff and like jumping and spinning and things like that because my density has shifted. So I was manipulating my density through the buoyancy that was created in being in the water. And so because of that, I was manipulating my matrix grid. And when you can find ways to physically manipulate your density, it becomes easier to manipulate. It becomes much easier to manipulate through manifestation and through spell work. Hi, Whitney. Yeah, no, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for sure. How you doing? So when you can find ways to manipulate your physical density without attachment, right? When I'm in the waves and I'm being buoyant, I don't have any attachment to that. I'm fucking playing and dancing and I don't give a shit. There's no attachments there. I am manipulating my matrix grid. So when you can physically manipulate your matrix grid in different ways, it gives you confidence, which someone was asking about confidence in the beginning of this. It gives you the confidence to manifest and do spell work with detachment. So the waves thing is one example that I was giving, but I want to give you some other ways, and I want you to think of your own ways too, because I'm not the end all be all. This is just what I can think of, you know? So I want you to ask yourself, how can I bend my matrix grid? And you got to work with what you got. So like if you live in the desert and there's no bodies of water, I guess you're not going to be doing it in the water, are you? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so an example for water would be the waves. Also, something I like to do when I'm at home is there's this lake and I like to push my energy really hard, like out of my hands, or very strong, not hard, strong, very strong out of my hands. And I can actually watch waves go across the lake from the energy that I'm pushing with my hand. So you can move the water energy from the side of the water. You can go in. Oh, hold on, guys. I got it. Sorry, my mom wants to make sure. Sorry, my mom wants to make sure I'm okay because, you know, she worries about me. But, okay. So, sorry. Yes, I had to text my mom. She was worried about me. I forgot to text her back. But yeah, my mom. Her name is Sherry. So yeah, she's probably like worried because I was like, I'll text you when I get back inside, and then I never did. So, yeah, okay. So manipulating water from the side of the water, using your energy to move the water, as well as using it to manipulate your physical density and practicing your buoyancy in the waves, okay? So that's one way to manipulate your density. The other way I just talked about is like dancing or doing stuff upside down, like acrobatic things like that, right? Someone, like I was saying, like the acrobatics I was talking about at the beginning of this, someone who can bend their back in half is bending the laws of physics. Like that's not your average spine that can just bend in half like that. They're a density bender. They're more than average, right? So yeah, think of any way that I like painting. It's like creating something out of nothing. Yes, that's another advice I want to give you guys. When you're scrolling and you feel like so dead inside and you're like, why can't I stop scrolling? I want you to ask yourself, what am I looking for? Because more often than not, when you're scrolling for something, you are looking for something. And so I started doing that when I've been mindlessly scrolling. And I will say, Spirit, what am I looking for? And sometimes they'll say entertainment. And then I know, okay, I'm bored. I should make a painting instead, like you're saying. Or they'll say, you're looking for comfort. And then I'll say, okay, how can I comfort myself? Maybe I will put a blanket on and watch my favorite movie instead of sitting here feeling like, because it's an energy exchange. The Black Mirror, it's literally sucking the life out of you. A lot of you too, when you pick up your phone to scroll, you're scrying. What is this? It's a Black Mirror. What did people used to use to scry back in the day? Crystal ball and Black Mirror, okay? Black mirrors, that was only for people who knew how to use them. Now everyone's got one in their pocket, and not only are you not scrying your own messages from it, it's a message that's being hand-fed to you by someone else. It's a narrative, it's a message not from spirit, it's a message from the algorithm. So when you're picking up your phone, you might be actually wanting to pick up your tarot cards and do a little scrying, okay? You might want to pick up your magic mirror and do some scrying, or your crystal ball and do some scrying, okay? If you are looking for like direction. Sometimes I'll just mindlessly scroll when I get really stressed out and I don't know what I'm like, I don't know where to start, so I'm just not going to do anything. So if I'm looking for direction and I'm like, what am I looking for? And Spirit's like, direction. I put down the phone and I start making a list instead of sitting there mindlessly scrolling. We've become so codependent on these black mirrors, which is the point, right? That's the point. But that's helped me a lot. And actually my friend Emily told me that helped her a lot too, because I just like shared that with her, and she was like, the last time that I just started mindlessly scrolling, instead I put my phone down and she made like a little watercolor picture of me and a cow and then gave it to me. It was really sweet. But she was like, I've been trying to do that more, because like, how much more fulfilling is it to put down the phone and make a painting and not only express yourself and move through your creativity and expand your mind, and then have something that you created after, than that really dead feeling you have from mindlessly scrolling, where it just sucks the life out of you and you don't get anything out of it other than a headache, you know? I'm glad you love it. Good. The only black mirror I want to scribe with is black obsidian. Yes. I have to flip my device over at night because I don't want to see anything. Yes. I've got a beautiful black agate piece. Next time you want to pick up your phone and scroll, guys, I want you to look at that crystal. Before, like I said, when there wasn't a lot of accessibility to spirituality on the internet, I used to go to this one little store. It was called Talisman. Now it's called Talisman and Cauldron. And it was like, we'd drive like an hour from my college over there, and then we'd just spend hours there talking to the owner. She was so sweet. And she gave me that advice a long time ago, because I was like, why do people look in crystal balls? And she was like, well, if you're giving someone a reading, and she's like, sometimes you're thinking of like your grocery list, or you're thinking of like things that are stressing you out, or you have all this stuff on your mind. She's like, if you pick up a crystal and you just look at that crystal and you really just focus in on that crystal and let your mind go blank, that's when the messages come in. So that's where the idea of scrying with a crystal came from, is to help clear your energy and clear your mind. That's some old school advice straight from the horse's mouth, baby. Not some TikTok bullshit. I've been listening to you while shuffling cards. Perfect. I love you, Dutch. Totally love this idea. Yay, I love you guys too. Yay, I'm glad you love it, guys. Yes, more painting. How do you know which deities are calling to you or making contact with spirit? Listen, go back to the beginning of this live. I said the first thing you got to do is get in touch with your own spirit, your own higher self. Next thing is ancestors. After ancestors, you start talking to other deities. You don't want to walk these spiritual streets alone. You got to figure out who the fuck you are, and then you got to figure out what ancestors got your back, because you don't want to get fucking spiritually jumped by something that says it's one thing and it's actually another thing. My shaman was talking about that, how he had a girl come in who'd never worked with any deity ever, and then she claimed that like Kali came to her, and he was like, I can guarantee you it wasn't Kali. I can fucking guarantee. And he was like, and if it was, then you were the most powerful person I've ever met, because Kali just doesn't come to someone who's never talked to a spirit before. So it was something else pretending to be Kali, basically. Honestly, so glad I found you on here. You're my favorite reader. I just love your existence. Happy you are here. Happy to be here same time as you. Thank you. I'm so grateful that you guys are here too. I'm so grateful for you guys. Y'all are my friends. Okay, so I want to get back to what I was saying about density bending, because I could go on all night. So, okay, so we talked about bending density with water. Now, if you want to do some density bending with the earth, you can do plants. So you can plant a garden, or you can take care of plants, because that's something tangible that you can see is actually bending the earth energy, right? It's taking nothing and making something out of it, and it bends the density of the earth, because if you plant a garden, the earth is never going to be the same as before you planted that garden, right? So that's one idea, but like I said, you can think of anything. Another thing I thought of as like earth bending was, I really used to like to quad and dirt bike and stuff when I was younger, and I would still love to do it. I just don't really have opportunities to do it now. But so I used to love to do that when I was younger. And I was thinking, like, that's earth bending. Not only are you bending the density of your body because you're moving at a really fast pace, which is like not typical to like a human can't go like 40 miles an hour just by their self. I mean, maybe some can, but a regular human can't. So like you're not only bending your density by moving really fast, but you're earth bending because you're like kicking up the dirt and everything while you're doing it. So that I thought of as another way to earth bend. A way to bend air would be pole, because you're going up out of the gravity, but also the incense thing. So I'm sure you've seen videos of people who light an incense and then they make the incense go, they like focus on the incense like this, and then they make the smoke go up in a straight line. That is a way to bend the density of air. So I want you to practice that. It'll make you feel really powerful. And then a way that you can manipulate fire is with a candle. So I actually used to do this in college as well with those same friends I was talking about earlier. We would light a candle and then we'd sit in a circle and we would all change the color of the candle. So my friend Doobie, who I've talked about before, he says he'll never, like he used to say, I don't know, we don't really talk anymore, but he used to say he'll never forget that it was like the start of Scorpio season and he had a whole circle of like Scorpios around him and he lit this tea light. And I was sleeping. I was a sleepy baby, so I was tired. I don't know. I don't remember why, but I was tired. And so I was sleeping. And he was like, Dutchie, it's your turn. Time to change the color of the flame. And I guess I was like, I just like sat up from my sleep and I just went pink. And he said it just instantly turned pink when I did it. So he was like, I'll never forget that. He used to be like, what the hell? Because I would just do stuff without meaning to, or like I was very detached but very powerful, and he'd be like, what the fuck? But so lighting a candle and I want you to do a couple things. You can make the flame bigger and smaller, thinner and fatter, move it from side to side, and then also you can change the color. So I want you to practice all of that with the flame. Make it big, small, thin, fat, side to side, in every direction, and then change the different colors of it, okay? And when you focus your energy, it is very easy to manipulate these things. Then once you start, so then once you've taken small steps towards bending and manipulating density and matter within your matrix grid, and you feel confident from changing the color of that flame or from making that incense go straight or whatever, now that you have the confidence of watching yourself be able to manipulate a small piece of this physical reality, I want you to go out in your matrix grid and see how you can manipulate it to your will. So like for me, I understand that everyone is a reflection of me. So if I'm in a bad mood, I'm probably going to end up running into a lot of people. If I'm running errands, I'm probably going to run into some assholes because I'm in a bad mood, right? So I want you to consciously start to see how you can manipulate your matrix grid. I want you to think, like, before you go into like TJ Maxx or something, I want you to think every person that has a conversation with me is going to be nice because I say so. And you go into fucking TJ Maxx and every person you talk to was friendly, and then you're like, wow, I guess I really do have power. And the more you do these little ways to manipulate your matrix, that's when you start manipulating it in a big way, which is how I got here right now, which is how I'm here in a different matrix grid, manipulating this matrix grid and sending it back to my matrix grid, because I learned that I really do create my own reality, my destiny is my own, and that nobody is responsible for me other than me. And once I truly understood that and realized that I truly am the creator of my own reality, because when you're a strong manifester, if you have really, for me, part of the reason why there were a lot of reasons why I was so poor and miserable for a long time, but I was a strong ass manifester and I had the worst self-esteem. I thought horribly of myself. So then I just created this horrible reality that reflected how I felt about myself. And it can be really hard when you're a very powerful manifester, but what you're manifesting is negativity. So yeah, that's my advice for density bending. I have a black candle lit right here next to me. Perfect. I thought I've changed so much, but I watched this video and I have these thoughts today. Amazing. That state in between being awake and sleeping is powerful. I completely agree. I get really strong messages from spirit in that state. Aside from putting the cloak on it, what color candle would you burn for protecting during a live/spell. Probably black, because black absorbs negativity. It's like the void. This live is grounding me heavy. These past few days, my energy has been extremely drained, and I've been disassociating with myself and my practices. Thank you so much. You are welcome. I'm glad it's helping. I love these convos too, baby Pico, and I love when you join them. When I feel my depression getting heavy, I buy flowers and offer them to my feminine deities and take care of them as an offering to them. And as I take care of them, the plants take care of me. That is beautiful. I love that. That's great advice. When I'm in a bad mood, I can feel myself changing the energy of the room sometimes. Same. Literally same. Like, and then I'm like sometimes I realize just how powerful I am in a bad way. Like if I'm in a bad mood and I'm being mean or whatever, and then I just feel bad after because I'm like, I probably ruined their next week, you know? You gotta be careful, manifester. With great power comes, right? Spider-Man. Bro, in that state between awake and asleep, I talk and don't notice. My brother says I say random things he doesn't understand, but I don't remember any of it. That's funny. You totally shifted my migraine pain with your energy. I'm so glad, Gazday. How are you? I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to help. 444 likes. Woohoo. Actually, on my end, it's, or 44 likes, not 444. I'm being a little lofty. See, on my end, it says 33 people and 43 likes, but we all know YouTube is not exactly accurate. 11:11 in Ohio. So cool. But I'm probably going to get going, guys. Honestly, this live gave me so much energy. I was so tired, and then I was like, I got to go live. I got to share all this crazy information I got today, and I'm only going to be on here for a very short period of time, so I'm so tired. Oh my god, it's been 111 minutes and 44 seconds. That's a good time to go. Glad to see you too, guys. You are so welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to do some stretching because, like, it's 11:11 in New York City, which means it's 11:11 here. I can't see any clocks right now, but I'll go ahead and make the assumption. Love you guys, too. This is my friend's brand. It's called The Ultimate Pursuit, if you like the shirt. Love you, too. Oh, that's great. Whenever I shave, I imagine shaving off the negative energy. That's nice. I used to do that a lot in the shower. Imagine washing away the negative energy. Yes, I will do another pick a card soon. You'll probably be seeing more lives from me. Thank you. I will be safe, Cicely. Y'all, I'll show you something funny. I haven't set it up yet. I'll just show you. So this is my doorway here. This is what I do at night. I make a barricade like this. Because for one, the umbrella is heavy, and so it'll make it harder for someone to get in. And for two, if someone gets in, it'll make a loud noise, and then I will scream at the top of my lungs, and then everyone will come save me because I'll be screaming so loud that, and I also have a rape whistle that will like make your eardrums bleed. So if that falls, I'm finna hop out of bed, grab my rape whistle, and scream my fucking head off, and then I will be saved. Dutch, is that a new tattoo? This one's new. I got it. I mean, it's not new. I got it filled in, but the one on my leg, is that the one you're talking about? Thank you. It is a booby trap. I was thinking it was like literally Home Alone. On my thigh. Yeah, so I've got, people have been really attracted to the Isis one lately. So I've got Isis here, and this is going to be fucking taken down for nudity. Just kidding, even though it's just a butt. But, I have Aset here, and then I have E pluribus unum, which means out of many one, and it was the original American motto. And then I have In God We Trust. And I got those because, like, I believe in what America was supposed to stand for, freedom, and E pluribus unum, out of many one, is just saying we all come from the same source, like to me. And also, it's the original motto of America, but it's on the penny. And when I was little, my main guardian angel, my Nani, She died when I was in 1st grade, and my mother told me that your angels send you pennies from heaven. And ever since my mother told me that, pennies are my thing. Like, they manifest out of thin air from my nanny to tell me that she's with me. So I got E Pluribus Unum out of many one as part of a tribute to her, but also the whole, like, we all come from the same source, we all deserve freedom. And then in God we trust. I believe that is where I put my faith. I put my faith in source. And above all else, I've realized over these last 2 years that the thing that is truly most important to me as an individual is freedom. Because with freedom comes everything else for me. Like, with freedom comes joy, with freedom comes creativity, with freedom comes love, you know? And I've just realized it all comes down to freedom. Thank you. Oh, with the pink flowers. That is my nani. No, that's my first real tattoo. I'll just show you guys my tattoos because people always want a tattoo tour. I'll do an actual video of it. But so this was my first tattoo ever. Is this anchor, tiny anchor, that I got in my best friend in high school's kitchen from her uncle who learned how to tattoo in jail. So that was my first tattoo. I got it illegally when I was 17. And then this was my first real big tattoo of my grandmother. I got that right before I had the worst period of time in my life ever. So she definitely came to me before that. And Anna was just about to say, I'll drink to that, and then you said that. Yeah, you just explained LMFAO. Freedom is the ultimate goal on earth. Yeah. Haha, yes, I hope we all get good D or V this week. Hell yeah. Take care. Excited for the week ahead. Have a sweet, relaxing night. Thank you, you too. I get the smell of beer and cigarettes whenever I connect to my spirit guides. That's amazing. A lot of them like that. Think about it. Spirits, like alcohol is spirits. A lot of them like smoke too. I was going to get a stick and point when I got institutionalized, but the nurses started catching on. Stick and poke was the worst pain I've ever, I mean, granted, I tried to get it on my toes. Like, I've got the moon phases on my toes. And this foot, I originally got stick and poke, but I have them both now, and I got them done with a gun, like fixed with a gun, and then this one with a gun. They hurt so bad. Stick and poke on my toes hurt so bad the entire time. My body was involuntarily going like this. Literally, it was going, I literally died. Like, my soul was like, goodbye. Because, like, the pain was so bad. I had to eat all these snacks because I was going to pass out. Stick and poke is not good. It's very painful. Guess spirit didn't want dude catching my blood. Yeah, humans like their vices in the afterlife too, exactly. A lot of times when you see someone who has addiction, they are possessed. They are possessed by a spirit that either had that addiction in that life or just a negative spirit that doesn't care about humans and wants to use that human vessel to get what they want. So a lot of times people with addictions are actually connected to some sort of entity. They have some sort of possession or entity attached to them. On your ankle? Oh my god. Ouch. Straight mummified your soul for a sec. No, literally, like, she'd stop poking, and I'd be like, and then she's like, all right, we're gonna start again, and I'd literally be like, you should totally get a 5. All right, guys, I could talk all night. I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow. Maybe we'll go live tomorrow, too. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. I love you guys. Bye-bye. Have a good night. Thanks for joining me. I think you're wonderful, beautiful souls, and I'm grateful for you. I hope you get beautiful night's sleep, and I hope I activated your DNA a lot. Night-night, guys. I love you. I will stay safe. Pray for me. everyone's praying for me, and I've got a really good spiritual team on my side, so I know I'll be fine. All right, I love you guys. Bye-bye.